Next, we move on to specification 5, which asks us to describe the role of artificial selection, also known as selective breeding, in producing economically important plants and animals. Artificial selection is a process where humans deliberately choose organisms that show desirable characteristics and breed them together over many generations. The aim is to produce offspring that consistently inherit these useful traits. Unlike natural selection, where the environment is the selecting force, here it is humans who decide which traits are most valuable. In agriculture and animal farming, this process is widely used. For example, farmers select crop plants like tomatoes that produce the largest fruits and use their seeds to grow the next generation. When this is repeated over many generations, it leads to plants with consistently high yields, better taste, improved size, or greater resistance to disease. Similarly, in animal breeding, cows that produce large amounts of milk are selected and bred together to develop herds with much higher milk production. This same principle has also been used to develop many domestic animal breeds, including different types of dogs and cats. Over time, traits such as fur length, ear shape, or even absence of a tail can be enhanced through repeated selective breeding. Artificial selection is also clearly shown in plants such as Brassica oleracea, the wild mustard plant. All vegetables like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, and kohlrabi come from this single wild ancestor. Humans selected different plant parts over time. Cabbage was developed by selecting large terminal buds. Brussels sprouts were produced by selecting lateral buds along the stem. Broccoli and cauliflower were developed from flower clusters, with cauliflower having a denser flower structure. Kale was selected for large leaves, and kohlrabi for a swollen stem. Even though they look very different today, they all belong to the same species, changed only through selective breeding over many generations. Artificial selection has major economic benefits. Increasing crop yield means more food can be produced from the same land, increasing profits for farmers. Disease-resistant crops reduce losses caused by pathogens like fungi, bacteria, and viruses, which also lowers the need for pesticides and reduces costs. Improved quality traits such as better taste, larger size, or better appearance make crops more valuable in the market and increase sales. Overall, selective breeding allows more efficient farming by producing higher outputs using fewer resources like land, water, and labor, helping to meet the needs of a growing population. Artificial selection in animals is also widely used in farming, where humans choose animals with desirable characteristics and breed them over many generations. Farmers select animals that show useful traits such as high milk production, fast growth, good quality meat, and resistance to disease. For example, cows that produce large amounts of milk are repeatedly bred to develop herds that give much higher milk yields. This makes dairy farming more productive and efficient. In a similar way, selective breeding has been used to develop many different dog breeds by choosing traits such as size, behavior, coat type, and appearance. Over time, this has produced a wide variety of breeds, all originating from a common ancestor like the wolf, but now very different in form and function. As shown in the diagram, a single ancestral wolf species has been selectively bred over time to produce many domestic dog breeds with very different physical traits. This clearly demonstrates how artificial selection can create major changes within a species when humans continuously choose specific characteristics. There are also strong economic advantages of artificial selection in animals. Higher milk, meat, or egg production increases the total output from farms, allowing farmers to sell more products and make greater profit from each animal. Improved growth rates mean animals reach market size more quickly, reducing the time, food, and resources needed for production, which increases efficiency. Disease-resistant animals reduce the need for medical treatment and veterinary care, lowering costs and reducing losses caused by illness or death. In addition, animals with predictable traits make farming easier to manage because farmers can reliably plan production based on consistent characteristics such as size, yield, and behavior. Overall, artificial selection in both agriculture and livestock farming helps increase productivity, improve quality, and raise profits. However, it also has disadvantages. One major disadvantage is that it reduces genetic variation because only selected individuals are allowed to breed. This makes populations more vulnerable to disease and environmental changes. It can also increase the chance of harmful genes being passed on. In the long term, this reduced variation can lower the overall fitness of the population. Although artificial selection is faster than natural selection in producing desired traits, it can also make populations weaker if not managed carefully. So that's a wrap. We have reached the end of Unit 17.4 on selection, and with that, we also complete Chapter 17 on inheritance. Don't forget to check the linked notes below for revision. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.